I am with JJ, the official campaign horse for the Save North Kensington Library campaign. The campaigners here have been marching from the North Kensington Library all the way down through Kensington, as you might have seen earlier on the programme, past our studios and up to the Kensington Town Hall, where they have joined me. It was a party atmosphere a few minutes ago. Now the bulk of the protesters have gone inside to address their concerns to the council directly. This is all a campaign to try and stop the closure and lease of the North Kensington Library building to a private school, a move which campaigners here say will strip them of a building, a historic building that makes their community great. The building itself is around 120 years old. It's one of the oldest libraries in the whole of London, and this is just another in a long string of protests that these campaigners here have been trying to carry out ever since these plans were announced. Joining me now is Jacob. You're one of the organisers of this campaign. Tell me how you got started with this.
Well, we heard about the lease, and we realised we didn't like the way that there hadn't been any consultation with the public, a proper consultation, and we feel it's unfair that they should be handing the building to a private school and closing it to the public.
And what are you hoping to gain out of this? I mean, you've been campaigning for a very long time now for this. What's your ultimate goal?
Well, we've collected 1,600 signatures supporting our campaign, and the ultimate goal is to keep the building itself open to the public. So whether that means keeping the library, the existing library there, or offering a community viable project to run community services there.
Well, it's a building that's rather old. You know, sometimes these buildings are quite expensive to maintain. We've seen that with the case of Brixton and Herne Hill libraries. These old buildings take a lot of money to maintain. And also, the new facilities that they're saying that they're going to move the library services into has better accessibility for the community, especially people who have disabilities. Is this not a good thing?
Well, it's been proven that the accessibility of the current library is actually okay, and we dispute that. We see that the council is the richest council in England, and it has reserves of apparently of £360 million. It recently gave £5 million as a gift to Holland Park Opera, and so we feel has money enough to keep the existing one open or to build a new one if they wish. But our concern is about keeping that building open to the public.
Many thanks, Jacob, for joining us here today outside the Town Hall in Kensington. Earlier on, I spoke to a Labour councillor who agreed with the campaigners here that it needed to be kept open for the public, or at least that there needed to be more transparency in the process.
Key issues are that without public realm being informed and without information or involvement of the community, the library is due to be closed and leased long-term to a private prep school. Now, this is a library that was one of the first public libraries in London. It was publicly funded, and they feel very strongly that if it can no longer remain a library, then they should be consulted and involved with any decisions for its future. And our Labour group view is that it should remain offering direct public services, either from the voluntary sector or the council.
Now, a lot of these library closures have been taking place across London. Other libraries that come to mind are Brixton and Herne Hill. These are buildings, very old buildings, that require a lot to maintain, and they're perhaps quite underused. Would this not be the case in Kensington, that it could be better served in a different building that's more modern?
Well, that may be, but the issue is that information hasn't been passed by councillors or by the community. Now, you have a choice of whether you can make the current building fit for purpose as a modern library, and if the community and other councillors are fully included in that information and it's not possible to keep it as a public library, then we maintain it should remain offering public services and not be leased off to a private prep school.
Well, council officials have reiterated to previous media organisations that this is a story that they hope will end, as they believe that the lease of the building will lead to a more accessible building where the library services will remain, a community building that will be better accessible to people with disabilities and will be a bit more modern so that more people can enjoy them. The protesters now have gone inside to put their case to the council, many of them arguing for transparency as to what will happen to the library that they hold so dear.